Where did you watch the game?
At home.
At home?
Yeah, I just wanted to.
Just you and Linda, or do you have anybody over?
No,
Is there a Super Bowl party?
No, because everybody wants to talk about, what do you think? And I'm going, wait a minute, let me watch the game. So
I love that. Yeah.
Linda and I.
Just want to just sit there in peace and watch the game.
Absolutely. Because if you go to a party, you're really not listening to the game.
Yeah.
You're half watching the game. You know, if 50 people are there, 40 are by the refrigerators. So that's the way to do it.
I get it, because I told this story the other day on the show. I'll repeat it here since you called this game. Is I was at an ESPN event when I was on ESPN back on the day on SportsCenter at the old Boardwalk ESPN Zone at Disney World for an appearance with Jeff Fisher and Leonard Marshall, and we were watching the Broncos and the Packers, where the Packers let the Broncos score at the end for that Super Bowl. That Green Bay, was coming back, and I said, if Holmgren scores here, does he go for two? And Jeff Fisher looked at me like I had two heads. He goes, of course not. Kick the extra point and play overtime. So I'm at a Super Bowl party the next year for the Super Bowl between the Rams and the Titans, and the Titans are driving to tie the game. Will they go for two to win it? And somebody at the Super Bowl party asks me in the middle, and my first thought was like, I'm trying to watch the game. But I'm like, actually, I have an answer. I know the head coach last year said he's not going for two. And you were calling that game.
Right.
Were you wondering about that?
Absolutely. And I thought what I always wanted to do the first ever overtime Super Bowl.
Sure.
And that would have been the overtime Super Bowl had Kevin Dyson gone one more yard. Mike Jones made the tackle. There's the picture of it right there. Reaches out, can't get over the goal line. And so that's the one that the Rams, people forget, won after trailing 16-0. And I think the Titans also lost one of their key players. I think it was Blaine Bishop. And then Jeff Fisher had to rally them and get them to, hey, we're back in the game. Come on, let's go. They got 16 points. And then Isaac Bruce got free right after the 2-minute warning, caught the pass from Kurt Warner. Titans go down the field and 1 yard shy. So I wanted to do every Super Bowl I did. I wanted it to be the first overtime, and then I'm texting when the score is 28-3. I didn't do that game. It's 28-3. It's Atlanta and New England, and I think Joe Buck and Troy. Yeah. And I'm sending Joe a text. Yes. So sorry about this one in the middle of the third quarter. What?
And he wound up calling
the first overtime game, yeah.
An overtime. Al Michaels is here, our ESPN Radio audience, SiriusXM audience just rejoined us. And, so that Super Bowl ending at the 1 yard line, the Malcolm Butler play coming on the 1 yard line. I mean, how many more 1 yard line games can somebody call in the Super Bowl?
Well,
unbelievable.
It was. I saw there were a lot of surveys, polls about what were the greatest plays in Super Bowl history. To me, the greatest one was James Harrison, 100-yard interception return at the end of the first half off our man Kurt Warner, which turned what would have been an Arizona halftime lead into an 11-point lead for the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you look at that play, of course, he intercepts it at the goal line, and then that defense had been out on the field for a while. He has to be gassed. There he goes down the sideline. You got Larry Fitzgerald chasing him. He's out of bounds. He's trying to work his way through his guys. And then the thing that people forget is that if Harrison gets tackled at the 1 yard line, the half is over. You don't even get to kick a field goal.
No points.
No. He goes into the end zone. And, of course, that game also had the Santonio Holmes catch with 3 defenders at the end of the game. But to me, the Harrison play is number one in my mind.
Well, I mean, again, it's just the unexpected. And I've asked you this many times before because you've been always so kind when I reach out to you before I call a game about how do you do this, how do you do that. How does one plan for the unexpected? Like Malcolm Butler, I guess you had the good fortune of of Butler tipping the ball to Curse the play before, because he wasn't probably on your board as one of the top cornerbacks to be employed by the Patriots in a big spot.
Rich, the night before the game, I'm well prepared for the game, but now I'm going through the guys at the end of the roster just in case. So maybe at 10:30 the night before the game, I'm in the hotel and I'm looking at a couple of guys that maybe they get in, maybe they don't. And Butler happened to be one of them. And then, as you mentioned, he didn't even start the game. I think he played something like 18 snaps, maybe a third of the snaps in that game because Kyle Arrington was in there and they took him out of the game and somebody got hurt. And so Butler is in the game. And then fortunately, he was involved in that crazy catch where the ball bounced off Kearse like 4 or 5 times.
It was almost like a he did moment.
It was a he did as Antonio Freeman. It was very much the same kind of a situation. And so when he is able to make the, it's an astonishing play. To this day, though, Rich, everybody talks about the fact they should have given it to Marshawn Lynch. I get it. They made a terrible call. It was a bad call, a bad play, and obviously we know how it turned out. But it was second down. In my mind, it's in a 4-down situation. You have 3 more plays. So what I would have done, in retrospect, of course, being a couch coach right now, Russell Wilson, 5'11", maybe, roll him out to the left. He could run it in. You had Doug Baldwin outside, one-on-one, fade, throw it to Baldwin. Russell Wilson walks in. If it doesn't work, okay, it's 3rd down. Now maybe you go back to Lynch. But you and I both know that we have seen a ton of games and a ton of plays where sometimes the running back just doesn't get in. Mm-hmm. And they're at the 1-yard line. Now all of a sudden you're at the 3-yard line, a 2-yard loss. Could have happened. I know it's easy to say that Lynch should have been the guy. I'm just saying you got 3 plays. One should have been Russell Wilson rolling out.
Do we ever know? Have you found out about why that decision was made? Because again, this play got a 2-week renaissance of a run because the Patriots made the Super Bowl and the Seahawks made the Super Bowl. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been talking about it as much as we had over the last 2 weeks.
Right.
But have you ever found that out?
Well, the mystery is, because I did the next Super Bowl with New England, which was against Philadelphia and Minneapolis after the 17th season. And then Malcolm Butler he's in uniform. He's not playing.
That's something, Brockman, our resident Patriot fan, you've been wondering about that forever.
Yeah, it's one of those things up there we'll never know the true reason why he didn't play in that game.
You're right, because Malcolm doesn't talk about it.
Right.
Belichick doesn't talk about it. I think even Robert Kraft, I don't know if he knows. I've asked him a couple of times, and he says, I don't know.
Yeah, Matt Patricia, probably we still haven't heard.
No one wants to talk about it.
For some crazy reason. I don't know why. We got to get to the bottom of this.
I know that these are Malcolm Butler mysteries
Nick
of
Foles
Super Bowl history.
Only scored 41 points in that game. Probably could have used them.
Yeah. Foles.
Butler did it. That's cheap, but
I got it. You know what? It's there. You know what, Al? If fruit hangs low, it doesn't mean you can't pluck it.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Just grab it.
Just grab it. Come on, baby.
Butler did it, or was active and then wasn't used, because that's the thing too about that one. If you're not going to use him, deactivate him, and you could potentially activate another Malcolm Butler.
That is correct. Exactly right. You wasted a roster spot.
It was wild. But again, you've never heard why Marshawn never got the ball. You've never sussed that.
No. But again, I go back to maybe they thought they could throw it into the end zone. But as I say, if Russell Wilson throws at 5'11", throwing into the middle of the pack.
Yes.
And also, if you look at that play from any different angle, Brandon Browner creates what amounts to a defensive pick. Mm-hmm. And that lets Butler get inside. Ricardo Lockett is the intended receiver, and lets him get there. So Browner's Gretzky. You should get the assist on the play.
Yeah, very good. I love that. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.